Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Table and Able. Today we continue Shulchan Aruch Yomi Simon Reshid Beis number 212. Sha'ikr Poter as a tafel. Only two halachas today, luckily because I'm a little burnt out of Shulchan Aruch. I tell you, I'm considering taking days off. Because it's my own cycle. There's no cycle to keep up with. But at the end of the day, I just say give simpler shiurim. That's the best way to break it up for me. So let's give a simple share. Only two halachas. Aleph kol shu ikar nimot tefela. You have two different foods you eat together. One is the main food, and one is it's not that you don't want it; it's just not as important to you. You make a bracha on the main one, and you exempt. You don't have to make a bracha on the tafel. We disregard the food that you're less interested in. Both bracha rishon and achron. Doesn't matter if they're mixed together. Even if they're distinct, they're distinct. Let's say herring and kickles. Famous most example that comes to my mind. The bread, you're eating bread, and it's not as important. It's less important. Salty fish. I gotta think of herring. I don't know. You're eating bread. Some people don't have crackers. They don't have kickles. They just have bread to eat with it. You're eating the bread, right? Because it's too salty by itself. It tastes better with the cracker, with the bread. The correct bracha is just make a shahakal on the herring. You don't have to make a bracha. You don't even have to wash for amotzi. The Augur brings an interesting shita that if the tafel you enjoy more, now it's hard to say you enjoy it more because ikar and tafel means you're eating it for the main part. So I don't really understand this Augur more. This Augur, I don't understand. It's more chaviv to you. And it's not ikr, then it's tafel. Hadavarchan al ikr, so I would pretty much disregard that. Hadavarchan al ikr, poter as a tefillah, that which make a bracha on ikr exempts the tefillah. Hainu she'ochlan biyacha she'ochal ikr tefillah. That's only, let's say you eat the ikr first, or you eat them together, and you take a piece of challah and a piece of herring. Aval im ochal hatafel tefillah. Let's say you eat the bread first, before you eat the herring. Some people like to do it that. Kagon sherotza lishtos. Another example, he wants to drink. Rotza le'achal tefillah k'dei shelo yishtal liba reikana. Sometimes you want to drink something, and you don't want to drink on an empty stomach. Or, for example, let's say you want to eat something, so you take medicine. You don't want to eat on an empty stomach, right? It's a similar example. There's no bracha on the medicine. So technically, the food that you're eating is tafel to the medicine, technically, and there's no bracha on anything. Or you want to eat something sweet. You're drinking something very bitter, and you want to drink like David Campari, if you know what that is. It's getting close to Pesach over here. We have to discuss what the real maror is. The real maror is not a vegetable, it's a drink. David Campari from Italy, from Milan. Go to your local liquor store and check it out. So you want to drink something very bitter like David Campari, and you want to eat something sweet, some seeds that are sweet. So it shouldn't be so bitter. You make a bracha since you're eating the food first, the tafel first. You're eating it first. Even though it's subservient to the other food. Nonetheless, since it's not the main purpose of your eating, you only make a bracha shahakal. Now, the Rama points out that he's only talking about when you make a shahakal on the tafel when the ikr is also a bracha shahakal, to drink, which is a bracha shahakal. So you make a bracha shahakal on the tafel, and it exempts the ikr, because that's the right bracha to make. But if you're drinking, let's say, wine, which is Bari Priya Goffman, and you want to eat something first, right, and you're eating the tafel first, you make the correct bracha. You're eating an apple, you make an eitz, and you make Bari Priya Goffman. Two separate brachas. I don't know if I agree with this. I'll tell you why. Ian to lean on Beis Merkach. I'll give you a whole new understanding of Ikar V'Tafel. I have a different understanding of Ikar V'Tafel. Obviously, the way I understand Ikar V'Tafel is not implemented practically in halacha and bracha books nowadays, but I really feel it should be. I'll tell you all about it. Ian to lean on. It's very fundamental. Beis Merkach Shemanicha Rokik Dakim. Let's say you have wafers, thin wafers, and you put some jelly on them. Also, rakikim or anything to any flavoring on top of the wafers, right? With peanut butter, with chocolate. Also, rakikim how it failed the merkakas. The rakikim and the wafers are subservient to the actual merkakas. Like the merkakas, you have wafers, chocolate wafers, right? Some people eat lemon wafers. I don't understand that. Coffee wafers, terrible. No one's eating the wafers. You want to taste the chocolate. You want to taste the chocolate. So the correct bracha. is on the shahakol for wafers. It's really clear for wafers, right? Everyone asks, what bracha you on wafers? Mazonos. Problem is the Shulchan Aruch already talks about this. The kolbo, it's not directly from the Gemara. The kolbo says the correct bracha. He's talking about jelly, I think. But nowadays, wafers have chocolate and more wafers. The correct bracha, according to the Shulchan Aruch, doesn't seem like anyone's arguing on it, is not mazonos, it's shahakol, because, right, why are you eating the wafers? For the wafer, you're eating it for the taste, the chocolate, right? It tastes better with a wafer. That's what I eat it for. I like the vanilla wafer; those are really good. Chocolate wafers also pretty good. Correct bracha should be shahakol. Most people make mazonos. Maybe the Mishnah Berurah tries. Maybe they understand it based on the Mishnah Berurah is talking about it. That that the wafers are just that shouldn't get your fingers dirty. But if they also want to eat it, then the wafers are more important. But the simple explanation of kolbo is that wafers, the correct bracha is if it's chocolate wafer, shahakol, or anything, right? Unless there's actually nuts in the wafer, then you make hadama or ha'etz. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Ian Tolina, where I talk about my perspective of what Mivarech al Ikar Poter as Atfil exactly means. Sounds like halacha beis over here. I'll expand on that. Ian Tolina coming up next.